The modern retirement system is absolutely broken, and people are getting burned. Since the 1970s, the retirement system has gradually become less and less secure, and the burden of retirement savings has shifted from the government with Social Security to companies with the pension system, and now it rests solely on the individual worker. Did you know that the 401k system was never intended to be the cornerstone of the retirement system? It was a loophole in the tax code that was identified by a corporate benefits consultant, and that's where the 401k began. If you want to learn more, stick around and I'll explain. I'm Michael, and this is b-tirement. The concept of retirement plans began with Social Security back in 1935, when FDR passed the Social Security Act to provide financial support for retired workers beginning at age 65. He wanted to ensure that they could live with dignity in their aging years. That retirement age was raised in 1983 to age 67, but that still hasn't solved the problem. The Social Security Trust Fund is expected to be depleted by 2033. There's a $26 trillion funding gap over the next 75 years. And this is because the worker to retiree ratio is declining. So there's fewer people paying into the system and more people, especially baby boomers, taking money out of the system. And also there's higher life expectancy than there was when Social Security was originally developed. Based on these issues, there's proposals in place to raise the Social Security retirement age to age 69 or even 70. That's crazy. A decade or two after Social Security was developed came the pension age. This was after World War II, and the American economy and American companies were thriving. And the companies developed pensions in order to retain good workers. Initially, this system worked very well, and these companies were able to generously fund the pensions for their employees. But this began to fail in the late 20th century due to underfunding of the pensions, mismanagement, and other external pressures that put strain on those pension plans. One of the first failures that was high profile was the Studebaker car company. They suddenly closed their doors in 1963, and all of the workers that worked at that plant immediately lost their pension that they'd been working for years or decades to earn. It vanished in an instant. Common accounting practices allowed companies to overstate the asset values in their pension plans and defer contributions to later points. They siphoned off overfunded pension plans and used that money for other corporate purposes without looking ahead to the inevitable downturns that the economy would have and the fact that they would need those rainy day funds to support their retirees in the future. These pension failures caused Congress to pass the 1974 Employee Retirement Income Security Act, or ERISA. And the 1974 ERISA Act had two main goals. The first was to define the minimum funding standards that any company with a pension must maintain. And the second was to create the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, or PBGC. And this was to ensure pension plans and protect the workers. It was a centralized insurance policy for these corporate pensions. But companies gamed the system. They found loopholes that allowed them to underfund the systems in the good times and then seek relief from that insurance plan when there were downturns. There were major bankruptcies, especially in the airline and the steel industries, which strained the PBGC, which in turn became insolvent. And then came the two final blows to the pension system. These were the massive losses due to the dot-com bust in the early 2000s and the 2008 financial crisis. These back-to-back crises is what really ended the pension system in the United States. This failure of the pension system is what led to the accidental creation of the 401k system. And this was by a consultant who advised corporations on employee benefits. He observed that there was a provision in this tax code, which was section 401-K, and the intention of that provision was to allow corporate executives to defer tax on their bonuses. But Benna recognized that really anybody could apply this provision, and he created in 1981 the first 401k plan. And this plan allowed the employee to make pre-tax contributions into an account that was then tax deferred, and the employer could also make matching contributions. And ever since, this has been the predominant retirement system in the United States. And there's over 60 million people who have 401k plans. But this has come at the cost to the employee. No longer is the government with the Social Security system or the corporation through the pension system on the hook to make sure that the employee is taken care of in retirement. It's now falling 100% on that employee to guarantee their retirement security. So if there's a market downturn shortly after somebody retires, there's no protection. That person's retirement savings could be significantly impacted. Everybody needs to become their own money manager, even if they don't have those skills. Every employee and every retiree now is responsible 100% to manage their money. Or they could hire a money manager and pay a percentage every year off the top of their gains. There's a senior citizen retiree that I know well who feels extreme stress from having that burden of managing money. He didn't go to school to be a financial analyst or expert, and yet that responsibility is falling directly on him. And in the past, he's been burned by financial advisors that he's hired to try to take care of his money. Another sad story is a guy named Bob that I worked with, and the year was 2020, and he was planning on retiring. He was 62 years old, and he was planning on retiring later that year. And he had saved hard. He had worked hard for this company for almost 30 years, and he had saved 10-20% of his income every year as part of his 401k. And he was happy with the amount that he had saved up. Well, we all know what happened in early 2020, and the pandemic hit, and the stock market immediately tanked. He panicked, and he got out. And he got out at the worst possible moment. And he and I never talked exact figures, but I could see it on his face that he was so devastated because, as we all know, the market tanked, the government stepped in, started printing money, started sending out stimulus, and the market came roaring back in just a matter of weeks. But poor Bob, who was planning on retiring that year, ended up with significantly less retirement savings than he would have if he wasn't on the hook to manage that himself. I think these proposals to increase the retirement age is exactly opposite of what should be happening. As Jeff Booth addresses in his book, The Price of Tomorrow, we're becoming more and more productive over time. This means that people should be able to work less, or should need to work less. Whether that means working 20 or 30-hour weeks instead of 40 or 50, or maybe that means that everybody should be able to retire at 50, and the economy could be supported by the younger workers from age 20 to 50, who are more energetic and better equipped to leverage modern technology like artificial intelligence. But instead, our fiat system being broken has broken our retirement system. And to me, the proposals to extend the retirement age all the way up to 70 years old is crazy. Right now, there's over 20% of workers over the age of 65 who are needing to work in order to provide for their retirement. That's up over double what it was back in the early 2000s. This trend is exactly opposite of what it should be. Retirement age should be coming down over time, not up. And it's time that we rebuild our retirement system based on hard money. I really believe it's a shame what's happened to our retirement system over the last 50 or so years and the burden that it's placing on individuals. And I really believe that Bitcoin is part of the answer. I believe that everybody should invest a portion of their retirement funds in Bitcoin. So as I've shared in a past video, back in 2020, my employer offered a brokerage link window as part of our 401k. So I moved 25% of my 401k balance over to brokerage link and put it into Bitcoin related instruments. So if your employer offers a brokerage window like Fidelity's brokerage link, you ought to consider moving a portion into that and putting it into Bitcoin ETFs or exchange traded funds to tie your retirement security to Bitcoin. You might also consider supplementing or replacing your 401k contributions and instead investing in spot Bitcoin, which you hold yourself in cold storage. I recently met a young Bitcoiner who's about 25 years old named Ben. He was proud to tell me that he recently started a job with one of the major banks, but he was proud to say that he's not contributing to that 401k Instead, he's taking that $20,000 per year and he's buying spot Bitcoin that he's holding in cold storage. That's a bold move, but I think one that might pay off very well for Ben. Whether you save in Bitcoin for your retirement is really a personal decision, and what percentage of your savings should be in Bitcoin is also a personal decision. Morgan Stanley recently shared that they are now recommending between 2 and 4% Bitcoin allocation in portfolios. I think that's too low. Ray Dalio, who's a prominent investor, recommends a 15% allocation to either Bitcoin or gold. Really, it's up to you. As I said before, I moved 25% of my retirement savings, and that has changed my life and allowed me to retire early. In a way, it's a shame that the worker is now 100% responsible for their retirement security, whereas in the past we believed that Social Security would be the safety net, and then we believed that corporate pensions would provide for the future of the hard workers that worked for decades for a company. Now it's really up to us to manage our money ourselves and secure our retirement ourselves. And I believe that Bitcoin should be a part of that solution for everybody. So maybe this is that moment for young workers, especially like my friend Ben, to take the most sovereign approach to securing their retirement and their retirement security by investing in spot Bitcoin and holding it in secure self-custody. I'm Michael, and this is b-tirement. Every week I'm putting out content like this, explaining how I use Bitcoin to help retire early. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, you might want to check out these.